Hello, welcome to Suffolk Socks podcast. Crikey, it's been months, if not years. I'm just checking the date. Right, it's Friday the 15th of November, 2024. And today is a milestone for me because life has been, over the last few years while I've been away, I've still been around, but I've not really done much. Well, I haven't done any podcasts. So John took semi-retirement. So we moved. John took semi-retirement. He lasted retired from March up until Monday. And Monday, he went back to work. He decided to go back to work. So for the last 20 years, we've been self-employed. But he's always had a proper job. Self-employed, but actually now he is employed by somebody. So the best thing for me is we get holiday pay. So if we've got an holiday, get holiday pay. We've never had that before. But anyway, that's by the by. So he leaves the house about 9:15 each morning and he's home about 5:30. And today is the first time in about 3 years that I've had the flat to myself, which is absolutely, I'm at a bit of a loss actually, because about 10:30, 11 o'clock, we'll always sit down, have a cup of coffee and 2 digestive biscuits. I know, we don't go any more extravagant than 2 digestive biscuits here in this house. But anyway, so I'm back to normal and I thought, you know what, I might tentatively step into podcasting world again. So here I am. That was a bit of a garbled ditzy start, which is the norm for me really. Right, so my name's Julie. I run Suffolk Socks, and when Johnny, my husband, retired, I decided to close Suffolk Socks down too. But I really missed it. I always kept the retreat side of Suffolk Socks going, but I did miss the hands-on with customers. So I restocked. I got rid of all my stock and then I thought really hard about what I wanted to do, and I just want to do Opal wool. I love Opal wool. Opal wool is my firm favourite, although I have to say the socks I'm going to show you aren't Opal wool. And so I'm doing that. I'm not hardcore sales. I've never been hardcore sales, and that's right out my comfort zone. But I just plod along in my own little world in my rose-coloured glasses. So here I am. And have I got a lot to show you? In fact, I've got so much to show you, I can't remember some of the names of some things. And since Suffolk Socks went quiet, I don't need a lot of socks. I still have a pair on the go, but not the way I used to knit socks, because my kids have got so many pairs of socks and I'm really fussy about who I give me socks to. Well, I'm really fussy about who I give anything knit to. So there's just so many pairs of socks they can have. So I'll start with FOs. And we've got sewn as well, so I'll start with FOs. So my only sock FO is the West Yorkshire Spinners 2024 colourway, which is Yuletide. Now, I made these with, what heel? Fish Lips Kiss heel. 2.25 needle, 64 stitch cast on, Fish Lips Kiss heel, and a straight star toe, which I always do. The only reason it's got a Fish Lips Kiss heel is I do prefer a heel flap and gusset. But in all the 27, 28 years that I've been knitting socks, I can never remember the heel turn, the gusset turn. I can never remember the numbers on that, unless it's written down in front of us. But with a Fish Lips Kiss heel, I can. So I obviously mustn't have had the instructions for this. Hence Fish Lips Kiss heel. And they don't really fit my feet very well, that one. So these ones will be going to one of my kids, whether they like it or not. And it's even worse this year for Christmas. I always knit Christmas socks. And this year, we're not even buying Christmas presents for each other, we've decided. We always do a Secret Santa. All the grandkids get presents, all buy for the children. But we normally do a Secret Santa between the lot of us. But this year, everyone, bar Phoebe, is going to their in-laws. So I'll not see any of them. Lou's in Wales. Tom's and Lydia are local, but I'll still not see them. And we just decided, what is the point of buying presents to gift either the week before Christmas or the week after Christmas? So we're not doing presents other than for the children, but I've told them feel free to give me presents because I can have Christmas presents in the middle of July. No, I'm just joking, really. Well, I can actually, but we're not buying any, which is great. And next year, if we're all together, then we'll buy. So Phoebe, you're getting these regardless of whether you like them or not. Phoebe always gets my socks because Lucy knits her own. Right, so that's my one and only pair of hand-finished socks. So if anybody anybody follows me on Instagram, not that I expect anybody to, they'll know I went to Shetland in July for my birthday. Oh my God, I had the best time ever. Honestly, it surpassed every expectation I can think of. I'd always gone on about Shetland. I went to Shetland years ago for Woolweek, and I always said that the next time I went to Shetland, I wouldn't want to go on Woolweek because there was so much more to explore of Shetland other than wool. And I've gone on and on about this for years, and I've really hiked it up to John and what have you. Anyway, for my 60th birthday in July, he had organised for us to go to Shetland for the week. And because I've got Viera, I wouldn't leave Viera, my little dog. We had to get the ferry, which was a bit of a concern. But I phoned up the doctors and they gave us some Stemetil for my balance and drugged myself up. I stopped at my sister-in-law's the night before, so I was virtually comatose by the time I got on the ferry. And I slept really well. I wasn't seasick. Anyway, we've got to Shetland. It was awful. The weather was awful. Foggy and drizzly, which was nothing new for me because I just bought myself a lovely shocking pink waterproof coat. I was dead chuffed I could wear that. We got to our Airbnb in Gulberswick. Met the people who run it, who couldn't have been nicer. They left a little birthday parcel for me, and they left a little goodie bag for Viera the dog. And as I said, they couldn't have been nicer. They were next door. We were sort of in the annex. But that was on the Saturday. We got there on the Saturday. Now on the Sunday, the sun started shining. It didn't stop shining till we hit Newcastle the following Saturday. Well, it was just amazing. It was just amazing. Everybody was lovely, and to top it off, I bought me body weight in Shetland wool. That's all I can say. We took the car, which has got a massive boot, and what's the point of having all that space? It's not like I'm going to be going back. So I bought lots of stuff. And one of the things I bought, I was still very good. I had a list. I didn't go off my list. Well, I think I may have gone off. No, I didn't go off my list. But what I did buy and what I did cast on when I was in Shetland were these gloves. Actually, I did go off my list because it was like supermarket sweep with me the day before we left. And I went up to, oh God, I can never remember. Jamieson's and Smith, the one up the road, I always call it, not the one in town. I went to Jamieson's and Smith and I bought some glove blockers and mitten blockers, which I just love. Now, I tell my youngest granddaughter, I think it's funny because I go along clapping them when we're singing songs. So these are the gloves. They are called the Wooden Flower Mitts, and they're by Outikator. No, they're not. I tell you, honestly, well, they are by her, but this is the pattern. And they're called the Prairie Star gloves. They are lovely to knit. So I'm on my third pair. The only different things I've done is I have done a different finger for all the different colour things there. They've got it in blue, but I just used what I had left. I've done those ones. and I've done these ones. I wasn't quite sure about this colourway, but I quite like it. There's a bit of a gap where I picked up the thumb, but just there. But I can sew. I'll just put a tack in that. And I don't even know who they're for. Actually, I know who the other ones are for, but these ones I think I don't know. I'm just knitting them. I'm not really fussed about giving my, I think I'm a process knitter because I just love the knitting, and then when it's finished, I'll move on to the next garment. I never have a list of what I like, and I never knit stuff for to go with specifically with something. I just knit it because I like it. So I will show you one that I'm doing at the minute, and that is this one. So I'm just doing it in 2 colours, which are what I've had in one of my stash drawers. I've got a huge stash of Shetland wool. So I'm just doing this. I love colour work. Colour work's my favourite thing to knit. I've always got a colour work on the go. I find plain knitting so boring. Well, yeah, I do. I find it so boring. So yes, so they're my 2 finished objects. The other thing I've been busy with is I run Suffolk Socks retreats. So once a year I hold a big retreat of about 12 people, 13 people, and I always design something that they can knit. This year I designed a hot water bottle cover, and it's called the Urgle Gurgle hot water bottle. Now, a mad name you might think, but my dad is 89. I've never ever known my dad wear a t-shirt, ever. He wears t-shirts that look like polo shirts, but not like a t-shirt as such. But when I was a kid, he did have one t-shirt, and on it had Urgle Gurgle on. Now, knowing my dad, I'm fairly confident that didn't mean anything rude. So I can repeat it. So when he used to we used to have hot water bottles living in Northumberland. It was always bloody freezing. So we always had 2 hot water bottles each. And every night, doesn't matter how old we got, when we filled a water bottle up, my dad always insisted on checking that the air was got out. And I'm looking at this through rose-coloured glasses, because I'm sure he must have moaned on about the fact that he had to do it and tighten the thing for the thing. But every time he used to do it, he used to say, Google, Google. So I did hot water bottle cover. I decided to call it the Urgle Gurgle. And this is the Urgle Gurgle. I've knit it in a few different styles. It's in the shop at £2. I'm just selling all my patterns for a couple of quid. Just because I enjoy doing them. This is knit in an Aran weight wool. I have knit it in a DK wool. I think I knit it in the Colour Lab on the same needles. It did have a thinner fabric finish. Does the job, but I like it nice and, I like a nice hefty fabric on it. So that's the first one. And I've knit in this one. And then I did it in some traditional Christmas colours. Now, the reason I've done all 3 is because the pattern is made up of several different motifs. And they're all the same stitch count. So each chart will fit into numerous repeats around. But you don't have to do all the charts, so you can repeat them till you get to the recommended row count. And you can do it all plain, you can do it mix and match. The reason this one's mix and matched is because I've obviously done a cream and a green and a red and a cream, so I had a bit left over, so I just used all my odds and ends up on it. Really lovely. I've knit loads of these. They're such a nice fun knit. And I did start off was this one got buttonholes in? So the cuff I've knit extra long and it's got buttonholes in. later on the ones I started knitting, I've just put the buttonhole in, but I haven't bothered sewing a button on. For the simple reason is that when it cools down, I like putting my feet inside the hot water bottle cover, and it keeps them warm. As long as I remember to take them out again before I get out of bed, else I can flatten my face. And the other one I designed, I haven't even got this up in the shop yet. This is the Neptune one. I love this. Now, on the chart I've done, it doesn't have that motif in. I forgot to put it on the chart. You can add it, and I didn't even realise I had done that till one of the ladies pointed it out because it was a long float, about 11 float. Obviously, you would catch it up as you were going along, but absolutely loved this. The motifs were taken from lots of different sources. And I just love it. This one's lovely. So, and again, this is what I had. Rather than break into another ball of cream, I had a bit of red left, so I just did it. And then when it's folded over, it just keeps the continuity of the red and cream going. But so I'm desperately trying to think, who can I knit one of these for? So I can do another one. So they're all my Urgle Gurgles. The red one's called Neptune because we stayed at Neptune House. So that's that one. Right, a few weeks ago, I went to the Knitting and Stitching show with my friend Maddie, and we had such a laugh. But I bought some, I didn't buy any wool, but I did buy lots of sewing. And one of the sewing I bought was, now I can't remember the names of any of the companies or anything, so just go with it. I made this. Now this is from Florence, my youngest granddaughter. This is hers for Christmas, and it says, for Florence, handmade by Grandma, 2024. So it's possibly a bit firm, but I was frightened that, well, I wasn't frightened. One of the thoughts I did have was that if it was too soft, if it folded over, would the felt eventually wear? And then so I just went with it and stuffed it quite firm. And I thought, well, you can use it for a pillow, or it can sit somewhere against the edge of our cot. But I absolutely love doing that. I sat one Sunday night doing it. And then for Tilly, my eldest granddaughter, so for Christmas, we're just buying the kids, but we are having we make lots of our Christmas presents, our family. So I've made, she loves cats, so I've made her this. Now this is a Nancy Nicholson design. And I love doing this too. My fingers were shredded though by the time I did this. With hindsight on this, I would have done the embroidery before I'd stitched it all together. But as there's not going to be another one, it doesn't really matter. The hardest part with this was getting the eyes straight. And I always think these look like boobs. But never mind, they're on the hips, so it's all right. And the tail wasn't secured, but I secured it because I had visions of us swinging it around and it losing the tail. But yeah, such good knits. Now this one you're going to laugh at because the jury's out on this one. Our Flynn got a 5-year-old grandson, and because I was making all the kids, the girls' dolls, well, dolls and stuffies and what have you, I didn't want to leave our Flynn out. But there's not many stuffies in it for a 5-year-old boy, can you? So when I was there, I found, I think it's called And So We Begin, begin to sew, a shop. Well, it was a store. And they sold tea towels with rag dolls on, basically. But they had a strong man, right? Now, I did sew this all by hand, and it wouldn't win Figure of the Month. But, oh no, that's about it. But this is it. Now, I think it's shocking. I honestly do. But my family say they think Flynn will love it because although it's quite firm, he's going to have a great time swinging this round and belting everybody with it. But my husband says it looks like a ballet dancer. And he thinks I've got his legs on back to front. But I haven't, if I twist them round like that. There you go. It is a bit strange, isn't it? But there's something quite nice about it. But it's a talking point, isn't it? It is a talking point. Just nod your head. Yes. And I showed Lydia, Flynn's mum. She said, actually, I think you'll love it. But my daughter-in-law's so nice. I'm never, she might just be saying it. No, she wouldn't. She would tell us it was awful. So Flynn's getting this. Sorry, Flynn. When he's an adult, he'll be sitting at the table when I'm no longer here, and he'll say, you remember that naff doll my grandma made us? But I bet he still got it. So that's that. Oh, sorry, I'm making it rattle. And my other finished object, now this I do love. When I knit this in about a fortnight, in March, way back, I went to the East Anglian Yarn Festival with Lucy. Was I with Lucy? No, I didn't want the East Anglian Yarn Festival. Well, I did, but it's not where I bought it. It used to be called Fibre East. Fibre East? What's it called now? Anyway, it's Fibre East at Amtail. And my favourite people, they're my favourite people, even though I like lots of other people. But these two are always going to have a good chat with, because when I used to do vending with Suffolk Hooks, I always used to be next to these two. It's Kath and Marion from the Wensleydale Longwool sheep. Longwool. And this, I bought this from her shop. It is the Nancy vest. It's a tank top. You knit it flat. The pattern is to knit it flat. I didn't. I knit it in the round and then just steeked. But this seemed to knit itself. I think I knit it in about a fortnight. Now, it was steeked heavily. It was blocked heavily, sorry. And it was still, I felt it was still a bit tight. I am busty. But I could have done with it being a little tight. And actually, the more I've wore it, the more blocked it's become, and it's more like, well, I'm still busty, but it's not doesn't make it look as busty as it did when I first knit it. But this was an absolute joy to knit. It's knit with DK weight. It's called the Nancy, and it's designed exclusively for Wensleydale Longwool. I did have quite a little bit left because I'd gone up to the last size. I had to buy one more ball. I think it was the pink, the pale pink, but I have got quite a bit left. Not enough to worry about, but it could make a Christmas bauble, or it could make a good dent in the second one. An absolute joy in it, and I love wearing it. I will have to say that, as I don't have a very high tickle tolerance, nearly killed me the first time I wore it. But as time's gone on, it's got softer, and I couldn't wear it next to my skin like I could Shetland. But I'll knit another one of these, definitely. Just get different. Yeah, well, I'll definitely knit another one of these when I'm at a show, and I'll just buy the wool. So go and have a look. It's Wensleydale Longwool, and they're based on Wensleydale, I presume. So that's that. Oh, and I do have one of the other hot water bottles, the Neptune, and this is knit in the Wensleydale Longwool Aran, which is lovely. So I thought I'd try it in that. Very, very lovely. So they are all my finished objects. I've got loads more. But, I'd be here all week doing this, and my battery's not that long. So when I was in Shetland, the other thing I bought was, I will have to say that I was in Shetland for 4 days before I even looked at a wool shop. Every morning we would get up and we didn't eat out. In fact, the one time we did eat out, we went to a cafe that's up by, not Jameson's, up by Jameson's and Smith. On the way there, we sat ages waiting for our food. We got our coffee. I'd finished my coffee and the food hadn't even come. And when the man came round, he saw we hadn't had our food. So he'd gone in the kitchen and they hadn't made our food. And he came out and said, it won't be long. And I said, we'll have to start it, And he said, no. And we just said, oh, well, we'll not bother then. Because we'd waited about 45 minutes. And I thought, well, by the time we make it, it's going to be an hour. And I just thought, nah. So I just said, oh, well, we'll just have our coffee. But Jamie would pay for our coffee. I would have thought, as a good customer-facing thing, you'd say, oh, don't pay for your coffee because it was just 2 coffees. But we paid and we were happy to pay. So that was the only experience of eating out. But we'd get up every morning, I'd make a flask of tea. After breakfast, we'd make a flask of tea. And then we'll pack the digestive biscuits and we'd drive off somewhere to the beach and what have you, and just spend the day exploring. Just loved it. We walked up hills that I virtually needed a defibrillator when I got to the top. Vera had a fabulous time. She loved it. She was terrified of all the sheep. She never got off her lead once because I think we got like a 10-metre lead for her, like a big thing that we put on her when we were on the beach so she could run around. I fell when I was running backwards to escape a wave, nearly bloody killed myself. Dog jumped on my face and was licking my face. It was not a good look. Thankfully, I don't think anybody saw, but hey ho, there you go. It's not like I'm going back, is it? And no, I had a great time. I had an absolute great time. The ferry back was absolutely fine. And then I bought loads of stuff. So when I got home, when I got to my mum's, because we stayed at my mum and dad's on the way back, that was great. And then we got home, Armageddon of sickness. Flo had a tummy bug, Lucy had the tummy bug, I got the tummy bug, John got the tummy bug. We stayed Clara Tom's lot, they came 5 days later, they got the tummy bug. I was like, I ended up in hospital one night with poor Flynn because poor Tom and Lydia were so poorly with the 2 girls. They didn't dare go to the hospital with them, so I had to take Flynn to hospital and bring him back here to stay the night. And then the next week, Florence got hand, foot and mouth. So she was like in isolation for about a month. And then just full of cold. Honestly, she's like a travelling little petri dish. Because she started daycare, she catches everything. And then the week we all came down with this horrible tummy bug, my daughter-in-law was going to London to record music. And I was having the kids all week, so I couldn't have the kids all week. So Tom was leaving late, coming back early. Lucy had to go around one morning at 6 in the morning because Tom had to go into school because Ofsted was in. And Daisy had to go and stay with Lydia at Auntie Phoebe's, and they had a ball. So Daisy went out for coffee with our Phoebe and all our friends and had a great time. But now we're all healthy apart from the winter colds with Florence. But we don't mind. So we're all back to normal. And I don't mind catching a cold of any of my grandkids if it means I can have a cuddle of them. Right, so one of the things that was on my list to buy that I have always already attempted to knit is the Strom cardigan. And I picked my own colours for it and what have you. But when I was knitting it in the past, it just didn't gel with me. So I pulled it all out. And the other thing was, it was in one of the Net Shetland wool books that I got. And I couldn't distinguish the different colours. It was really bad. So when I went, I saw that they had the pattern, and the pattern's so much easier to see, and that is it, the Strom cardigan. And I've loved this from the day I saw it in the book, but I was severely disheartened by the colour change on the charts, which I think was just a printing thing. So when I went up to Jamieson's and Smith, I saw they had it to buy as a pattern, so I just bought the single pattern. And I picked exactly the same colours as what's in the pattern. So, oh, where have you gone? Oh, there you go. And they were great. A young lass served me. She was fabulous. So I bought, this is my main colour, which actually is coming up a lot darker on there. Well, no, it's not really. It is dark. And these are the colours for the pattern. Aren't they delicious? I absolutely love them. I think this might be a summer knit because I'm as blind as a bat, and I think it will. I'll really struggle. Sorry, that's my finger. I'll really struggle to see the black. You know, the black work. Well, it's not black. It's like charcoal grey, but it's black to my eyes. But I absolutely loved it. John said I was very reserved. When I go to knitting fairs, I go with my friends Emily and Jenny. And this is their self-description, that they are like children who's been overloaded on Haribos. Because they have bags of goodies bought. And I'm just wandering around. I always have a list and I have a wander around to see if what's on the list I really like to buy. And it's very rare I go outside my list. I've done that once when I was with Emma, and I've still never knit that jumper yet. She has, but I haven't. You'll have heard that tale a few times where we went to Edinburgh, and I said to Emma, oh, I've seen a lovely, can't find my knitting pattern, I've seen a lovely jumper that you might like, that I like. And she said, oh, I'm going to knit it. And I says, oh, well, I'm not. She says, well, I am. I says, oh, I'm not. She says, and this went back and forward. Well, I'm going to buy it. I said, well, I'm not. And she said to the woman, can I have it in the blackberry colour, please? And I went, oh, can I have it in the pink? I've got no willpower whatsoever. Right, so my next buy is, right, and I was influenced by this, and I don't know the name of the lady, but one of the few podcasts I watch is The Woolly Thistle. And it's not the owner of the shop, it's the lady. Rachel, is it? Rachel? Yeah, I do know her name. Anyway, she severely influenced me on this because she was knitting this when, I think this was her last year's jumper for the jumper car. Anyway, so it's a Solidity pattern called the Cruden. And this is it. I just fell in love with this straight away. The colours. I think I'm into tanks because I don't like knitting sleeves. Well, I get too hot for sleeves, so I got this, and I I said, can I just have exactly the colours that's on there? Because it's a bit like a bottle of wine, isn't it? You see, if I can't make my mind up, I'm not into this. Like, do I like Shiraz? Do I like Merlot? Do I like Malbec? Although I do like Malbec. But if I like the label, I'll buy the wine. And mind if it's the price is too much, I go for the horrible label. But if I can't make my mind up, I always go for the prettiest label. My mum does that as well. So obviously it's the colours and the colours I went for. Not the stuff, not the pattern. But really lovely. And the lady who was on the Woolly Thistle knitting it has finished hers, obviously. Oh, it's lovely. But these are the colours. Aren't they just lovely? And because I'm a bit anal with my knitting projects, that will be knit when I've finished the Strom cardigan, because Strom cardigan was first in the queue. I like to stick to my list. Oh, that's so bloody sad, isn't it? But never mind. That's me. Take it or leave it. Then I have got another pattern. Oh, and the other thing I did buy when I was at Jamieson's and Smith's, I bought one of their bags, but I'll show you that later, because it was one of those things that I thought, when I get back home, I'll regret not getting them bags. I might never use it, but I know I'll regret not getting one of those bags. So the other thing I bought, let me see if I can find it, was from Jamieson's. And I bought a bag then as well, but isn't that a good bag? Well, you just put it over. Obviously, I can't put it on my shelf now because I'll strangle myself. But I thought, oh, I've got to have one of them. I think it's about 12, 15 quid. But I loved it. Anyway, I bought this wool and I can't remember the name of the jumper that I'm knitting. But it's gorgeous. And it is a Gudrun Johnson one. And these are the colours again, because it was the colours I liked. And it's just got a little bit of Fair Isle up there. That was the only thing I went off track and got. Yes. Because I'd seen it when I was... how had I seen it? Again, I might have seen it on the Woolly Thistle, and I thought, oh, I'm going to knit that. So as I was walking out the shop, I was like, do you know, I'm going to have the pattern for that, the wool for that. And I did. So I was dead chuffed. Absolutely tickled. But that was the only Spindrift I bought. The rest was all Jameson and Smith. One thing I did see, and I don't want to appear too negative as a negative thing. Well, it's not even a negative thing. A few weeks before I went to Shetland, there was a man doing a podcast and he did a tour. I think he was American and he'd come over he was doing England and then he'd gone over to the Shetland. And he did a tour of the Jameson's factory where they do the Spindrift. And then they showed him, it was the way it was filmed. So they showed the factory and then all of a sudden they were in like a shop. Now, had they shown the whole shop, I would have realised that was the shop in the middle of Lerwick. But they didn't. They just showed the jumpers that were knit. So I wrongly presumed that you could go up to Sanders to see into the Jameson's factory, you know, the Jameson's mill. There was no disclaimer on the video, or if there was, I missed it and I apologise, that said, you know, there isn't a gift shop up there or a bit you can tour. But we went up there, not for that purpose, I have to say, but when I was there and we did go, there was 4 other cars turned up to see the gift shop and have a look around. Slightly put me off a little bit. It's put me off what, you know, and I should have done my research because I've been to Shetland and I knew as soon as I walked into the shop in the middle of Lerwick, I realised, well, this is the place that's was on that video. But I was still disappointed that, because I thought, oh, I'll go up to the shop and then that's like, you know, like put that down to another experience that you've been to the mill and you got your wool from there. But then we went to the shop and it was just as lovely. So it didn't spoil anything. Just made us, well, I didn't buy more. So, yeah. And I met some lovely people coming in. They'd come in on a ferry that morning. And I think we were getting the ferry that night. So they'd got off the ferry that we were getting on. And they were so excited. One of them was going over to Unst. And then he was coming back for Wool Week. Such a nice gentleman. So yes, so that's that. So that's all my Shetland stuff. The other thing for my 60th birthday that my son and my daughter-in-law bought me was some Uskit Kate Davies wool that I've been after to knit the Sark jumper. I think it's called Sark. Well, it's out the Sark book, but it definitely smells sheepy. My spare bedroom stinks of it. And I've got a big bag of that, but I'm saying I'm knitting a cardigan out the Sark book. I'm still debating I might knit another, I can't even remember the name of it, but it's Scandia Ellie. I've knit this pattern loads for all my grandkids, and I did knit it with round my wool in brown and cream years ago. I bought it at Edinburgh, So that's a long time ago, but Phoebe's pinched it off me. So I thought I might knit it again using this. And this is from a dyer who no longer dyes, and Elizabeth Paul. And I thought I might just do that. I was thinking of doing a Christmas jumper, like Christmas trees on, but then I'm thinking, well, I want to say I would just wear it at Christmas, but I wouldn't. I'd probably wear it all year round if it just had fir trees on. So, yeah, that's that. Oh, now I only have 2 works in progress. I got quite good at being quite monogamous. Yes, this is the new me so far. And again, that is a colour work, and it's a jumper I've knit before, and this is my bag, and I am knitting I always get this wrong. It is, let me show you, see if I've got a picture. Land Girls. It's a Susan Crawford one. And I'm knitting it because she's got a knit along. Susan's got a knit along. I don't know what it's called. I do know what it's called. I should know what it's called. Because I want to say Land Girls, but I haven't printed the front copy off. Oh, Wartime Farm sleeveless pullover. And I knit this for Jonathan years ago. And then when Vera was a puppy, she, now, I know she nibbled a hole in it, but I thought it was moths. And there was quite a few different holes in it. And rather than take the risk of move, because it was just before we moved, I decided just throw it out, just get rid of it. I think I made it in Spindrift the last time with my own colours. He loved it, wore all the time. So I bought the wool for to re-knit this, but I bought the Jamesons and in the colourway that Susan Crawford picks. I think I didn't have a mind of my own, wouldn't you? But it just makes life easier for me. Because one thing I'm hopeless at is if I'm doing a colour work and the chart is charted in colour, it sends me naughty-eyed trying to change the colour to the new colours. Does that make sense? I'm much better with a black and white chart, and then I can choose my own colours. Whereas this is done in colours. I'll just give you a quick flash. And I can follow that much better. So I'm quite pleased with this. And I have got some Lou and Loop stitch markers on, what she makes. She made some lovely ones for this retreat that I've just had. And they're all the things, and I've got the obligatory socks, but they're just socks that seem to be taken forever and ever. I used to be able to rattle a pair of socks off. These people who knit socks quickly, I don't know how they do it, because to me, they just keep going and going and going. I seem to have been knitting these forever. And I don't know what's happened here either, which doesn't really bother me, but this stripe is about 4 rows more than this stripe. So I don't know what's happened there, because I haven't cut the wool and joined it, but it doesn't matter. So these will just go into my, will just go into a drawer really, and I'll gift them when I decide who's having them. It'll probably be John. And Howard Thomas is very knit-worthy for his socks and jumpers. So yeah, opal wool, loving them. And we can talk about my retreat now, because this is my big purchase. Well, it's not big, but at the retreat, I had a Suffolk Socks knitting retreat about a fortnight ago, and held at Neptune House. It was the last one I'm going to be holding at Neptune House because it's up for sale. And so the company I hire the houses from, they're just a very small independent company, just own 2 houses. And I rent Neptune House, which is a 16th century house on Ipswich waterfront. Absolutely beautiful. Settees are a bit uncomfortable, and you have to be pulled out of 2 of them. But they've decided to sell Neptune House. And so our last retreat, I thought, well, I'm not going to be doing any more retreats because it's ideally located for me. And so everybody came to the retreat. We did the goodie bags. We did some rope. I bought some rope bags and I sewed pom-poms all the way around. They were lovely and they got their hot water bottle retreats. But on one of the days, I'd organised for a local wool shop to come in and sell their hand-dyed wool, just the hand-dyed wool, Teresa Dyes Market Town yarns. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So Teresa came in, her and Gavin came in from Yarnworks in Hadley, which is a small independent wool shop that sell exclusive to the UK Emma's Yarn, and among a host of others, probably higher end range. They came in with a hand-dyed wool because I really wanted to promote the hand-dyed yarn and what have you. And they sold loads of wool. It was great. And but I didn't charge. You know, sometimes when you go on a retreat, and when I've been on a retreat and they've asked me if I wanted a vend, I have been charged a fee for the vend, which, you know, rightly so. I'm making money on the back of their hard work and what have you. But I didn't, because that doesn't bother me and what have you. But that evening, they came back to the retreat. Good company, Gavin and Teresa. They came back to the retreat after evening meal and whatever, and they brought a whole load of redesigned bags. And it redesigned project bags. And I think everybody, bar two, and they were the two that influenced were all to get one, bought one. But Gavin and Teresa very, very kindly gifted me a bag, the number 10. And the other Julie number 2, I'm Julie number 1, she's Julie number 2. She bought, I think it was number 17, and it was exactly the same as this one, except it had a pocket on the front. They have a pocket on the and handles. So she got that one. But then I saw the smaller, they gave me the big one, which I'm absolutely tickled pink with. So when this podcast finished, I'm going to cake some of this wool off so I can fit it all in. I wanted to buy the smaller one. Much to Johnny's disgust, he says, "Why did you buy one when you were given one?" And I said, "Yes, but if I hadn't been given one, I would have bought 2. So that's a saving, isn't it?" But he could not get his head around this. Anyway, Teresa and Gavin, I'm going to give them a bit of a plug. They are Yarnworks. They're a husband and wife team. I've known Teresa for donkey's years, long before Suffolk Socks and long before Yarnworks was just a blip in my eyes. They have got a good delivery of these. And they go into a cube and then you zip them up. One thing I think would have been better was if there were two zippers, so you could, I find it quite, so you zip it down like that, and I feel I have to hold it there to go all the way around. But you know, it's just till I get used to it. But oh my God, we were all sitting at the retreat with these bags. We were like kids in a it was virtually juvenile. It honestly was. How we're like, oh my God, we've got to have one of those. So yeah, absolutely great. So if you need one of these in your life, go over to Yarnworks. I had a good hunt around because I didn't realise Yarnworks stocked these when I sold at the retreat. So I had a good look around, and they're very competitively priced at Yarnworks. And of course, what's for me, I'm a big believer in buying local to myself, you know. So even if I'm away somewhere and I see a wool, if I knew a local shop stocked it, I would always come back and buy it from the shop that stocked it. So as soon as I knew they were doing it. And it's Sports Air Shop. And I But yeah, have a look over, put it on your Christmas list for one of those bags from Yarnworks, and get one of Teresa's hand-dyed yarns, Market Town yarns, to pop inside, and you can have yourself a Christmas Day cast on. And I'm not getting paid for this promotion, right? I just like Teresa and Gavin. So one of the things I was bought from a friend on, I've got to end it with this. How long have I done? Oh my God, that's a while. She bought me these hedgehog needle stoppers. Now, it's not one of my prouder moments, but the first retreat she came to, I was retelling her the story about how I discovered hedgehog had legs. You're asking, how the hell did she not know a hedgehog did not have legs? I don't know why I thought they didn't have legs, because obviously they do. But she was beside herself laughing when I told her this story. And she bought me these because every time she sees them, she thinks of me and the hedgehog's legs. I was a 24-year-old girl brought down here under sufferance in a little mini, away from all my family and all my sisters, and we'd been at the pub one night, and you know, I lived with a lump in my throat for the first 3 years of me living down here, and the first week a hedgehog ran across my feet, and I shouted at my husband, bloody hell, that hedgehog's got legs. I don't know why I said it, but to this day it can reduce me and my husband to crying laughter. I don't know how. Anyway, we'll stop it there. Right. My next retreat is underway, being organised. I've got one room left, I think. Another lovely group of women. So it's all booked up, and we are going to the big sister of Neptune House, which is Pettistry House in Wickham Market, owned by the same people. And we are going up there. So already it's all booked, and I have already got things in motion for special gifts and designs that's going to take place that week, because I like to be organised. My husband's a project manager. Well, he was a project manager, and he was talking to some people about my events, and they said, oh, it's good you're a project manager. And he said, you know what? She treats me with contempt when I say that, because all her ideas are kept up in her head. And it's true. I don't put pen to paper till probably about 4 weeks before the retreat, because I think, well, I know exactly what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening, who's coming. Of course, I know who's coming, and I sort out the food and everything, but that will all be sorted in March, and then I can just sit till November. And the week before November, it's like rabbit in the headlights. So anyway, right, I'm going to go now, because now I have to put all this away, and I'm going to take Vera out for a walk and do a bit of housewifely duties. Ugh, got to iron. I hate ironing. He's gone by no wearing shirts. But you know, if me and Annie's shirts is the price I can pay for sitting here knitting and having a cup of coffee and going out for coffee dates with my friends, bring Morphy Riches to me. Right, goodbye, take care. Thank you for listening.